Hello, all of you beautiful sovereign beings of light. It's so wonderful to be here with all of you again. Some of you have been great about sending me your questions, and I'm going to be answering them on my episodes as well as on Spirit Lift Sundays, which you can find on Infinite TV, starting on the middle of October. I'll be over there. I've been recording these Spirit Lift Sunday sessions over there, and they are editing them and getting them ready to share with the world. If you haven't been to Infinite TV yet, I'll put the link in the comments below, in the description below, so that way you can head over there and see what it's all about. Some of your favorite show hosts are over there, some which have been purged from this particular YouTube platform, let's put it that way. Today, I'm going to talk about one of your favorite subjects recently, and this is fairly new for those of us who have been around the spiritual community for a long time. And for those who are newly awakened, it is one of the hot topics. So I am going to share my perspective and my understanding of what I know about it, and that is that event. What my team a couple of years were calling the event horizon, which is a big event that's on the horizon for humanity. And another word that my team was giving me a couple of years ago is the quickening. So we are in the quickening right now, as it feels like things are moving faster and faster and faster and faster. That's exactly what it is. The ascension started in the 1960s, and it is now to the point of quickening, speeding up as the collapse of the old reality speeds up as well. So it is crashing and burning, and the light is rising. So this quickening is all about time speeding up. Even my kids started saying a couple of years ago, "Mom, time is going so much faster than it used to." And when kids say time is going fast, time is going fast, because for kids, usually time goes very slow. So we are in the quickening, the speeding up of our concept of time, as that old world comes to an end and we begin building this new world. So what is this event, the event horizon that my team was calling a few years ago, that now so many people are starting to become aware of? This does include what is being termed the Great Solar Flash. So to clarify, there are these gamma waves that have been coming in for about the last decade. They are, we call them ascension waves. They are creation waves, God, goddess waves. And in 2015, St. Germain explained to me that they are gamma waves. And these gamma waves that have been flooding the planet since that time have been increasing in number, which is the amount of frequency that is coming to the planet, and then also the strength that is coming to the planet, where before it was just a small amount that was coming in, and now we are being bombarded by these. And this event, this great solar flash, is those gamma waves basically exploding onto the Earth's surface. Now, it's called the Great Solar Flash because our sun is the singularity that the gamma waves are being moved through. It is the source of the gamma waves from the great central sun, which is the sun within the center of our galaxy, and that light is being sent through our sun here to Earth. So the dark side of the contrast has been doing everything it can over the past 10 years to block these ascension waves from coming in, because they knew these waves were going to be waking up humanity and creating this ascension. This is actually what the chemtrails are all about. The people who spring the chemtrails have been told that they are chemicals that are blocking the heat coming in and from overheating the planet. Basically, they think they are helping to stop global warming by spraying all this stuff in the air. So the people that are doing it really do think they're doing something good for humanity and all life on Earth. The people who have created these chemicals and who are the money behind it are, work on behalf of the dark contrast and have been trying to block the ascension by trying to block these gamma waves, but it's not working. As we can see, the gamma waves are still coming, and there's nothing they can really do about it. That's part of what the saying that's been used the last couple of years is nothing can stop what's coming. This is a big part of it. Nothing can stop what's coming. These ascension waves are coming, and there's nothing that can be done to stop them. And so the dark side of the contrast has done everything it can think of to try to block that, and also to block our ascension by continually feeding us fear-based stories and all of these distractions to try to keep humanity's vibrance down into these lower vibrations of fear. But this light that's flooding the planet is such a high vibration light, there isn't anything they can do about it. It is still waking up humanity, no matter how hard they try to block it. So this great flash that's coming is basically the flood of that light. If you imagine a star exploding from light years, thousands of light years away, well, it probably was about 2,000 years ago when this light exploded. A sun exploded and started sending gamma waves in our direction. I was shown back in 2015 that it's coming from a singularity, and that in our concept of time and space, it would have taken about 2,000 years for that light to arrive here. And what's important to understand is that this particular type of light we cannot see with our human eyes, yet our mind has the capacity to absorb them. And our pineal gland has the ability to absorb them, which is also why the dark side has done everything it can to basically defunct our pineal gland by poisoning it with chemicals, because this pineal gland has the ability to receive these gamma waves as they come in, and they basically change our DNA. They are activating our divine human blueprint that was manipulated about 11,000 years ago. The human species was given a virus, and we were downgraded from 12-strand DNA to 2-strand DNA, and all that supposed junk DNA is being activated by these gamma rays that are coming in, and that these light waves are changing our bodies from carbon to crystalline, which is the reason they've been coming in. Of course, you have to remember that everything is perfect divine timing. If these waves would have flooded the planet in mass all at once, our bodies would not have been able to acclimate. Our minds and bodies would not have been able to acclimate these waves as they're coming forward. So they started coming in smaller amounts, and that amount has been increasing and increasing and increasing over the years in order for our bodies to acclimate to those as they're coming forward. And these waves are actually activating our superpowers. So right now, this is why so many people are suddenly telepathic. They have healing capacities they didn't have before. People are waking up and seeing what's really gone on in the world. The guidance I got yesterday is that we have now topped over 1 billion people who are awake. Now, it's really important to understand that awake and aware aren't the same thing. So you have a lot of people that are aware of the corruption, but they're not spiritually awake. And you have a lot of people who are spiritually awake and not aware of the corruption, because the media has done such a good job of telling people that it's false, right? False information. So and a lot of people who are aware of the corruption are not spiritually weak, because they really believe that their religions are the only right way. And that's what I call spiritual arrogance and self-righteousness. There is no one right way to God, because God is within, love is within, the Creator is all of us. And our religiosities have placed people in boxes, and they can't see outside of their boxes of belief. But once you step out of those boxes of belief and you become spiritually awake, then everything becomes possible. So these light waves are also helping people to become more spiritually awake, as well as mentally aware of what's going on in the world. And now this awakening is spreading, and it has gotten to the point where it is snowballing, and there is nothing that can stop it. Remember, there's nothing that can stop the gamma waves from coming in. There's nothing that can stop the Great Awakening. There's nothing that can stop people from seeing the light within themselves. The dark contrast is doing everything they can think of to stop it, but it is impossible, because it's written in the stars, and it is the promise to humanity. And those promises are being fulfilled. And so this event that's coming I started asking my team about it about 6 months ago, and they said they will not tell anybody what this actual event is because they don't want the dark side being tipped off, if you will. Let's just say there are spies everywhere. And so the specifics of what this event looks like and how it appears is not known or told to anyone, so that the dark side of the contrast is unable to prepare for it. My understanding is that it will coincide with something they have planned as well. And but because every time the dark side does something, it always backfires and is used on behalf of the light for the freedom of humanity. So they're allowing the dark side to say what it is they want to say and to, tell the world what their plans are, specifically to wake humanity up to see what the plans are. So no one can say they didn't know. It's all out there, all out in the open, what the dark side has planned. They're basically telling people what their plans are. And that's intentional. So don't allow yourself to become afraid of what the dark side is up to, because they are showing their hands. They're literally laying their plays out on the card table for everybody to see. So everybody can wake up to it. And no one can say they didn't know. And so a lot of the people that are out there right now are now partially awake. And these are people who just a few years ago were sound asleep spiritually as well as being informed. And I've been hearing people say lately, something's different. Something's going on here. There's something really wrong with the systems. So even those who are sound asleep are starting to get inklings that something's different. Something's changing. We're in a transition of some kind. And there are a lot of people who are awake to some of the corruption, the corporate empires, yet can't see how they're actually being used to manipulate humanity, for example. So a lot of people are partially awake. And the message that came in this morning is that now the light is so bright, they've got their sleep masks on, and they're now tossing and turning. And they haven't taken the masks off yet, but they're awake. Like there's too much noise to stay asleep, and there's too much light to stay asleep. They just haven't finished taking off the masks yet. And then once they do, they'll be like, oh my gosh, all that stuff I was hearing is actually true. So understand that the masses will wake up and they will see the important things they need to see to be able to make conscious choices about the direction they want to take their lives. Now, right now, a lot of humanity is running these unconscious narratives, but they will be given conscious choice. Now, it's important to understand that they're not suddenly going to be flooded with everything. They're not going to hear all the stories of all the devastation that's happened on our planet. They will only know what is necessary to know right up front to be able to make conscious choices about which direction to take their lives. And they don't need to know the depths of deprivation that have happened on the planet at the beginning. Now, that will eventually all unravel and unfold as the human heart is available to receive it and transmute it and do the shadow work that is evolved around knowing all of that. So we have our personal shadow work that every human being starts to work on once they wake up. And there are a lot of people who are presently in that fourth dimensional reality of going up what I call the spiritual spiral, which comes with processing their own lives and recognizing their own shadows and recognizing their fear-based beliefs and transmuting them with love-based truths and moving up that spiritual spiral into absolute, pure, unconditional love, which is ultimately the heaven within ourselves that we all seek. And so once a person wakes up with information, that tends to spark the spiritual awakening as well. And so that's where a lot of the Awaken Aware community presently is. They've stepped out of this 3D matrix and they're all mulling around in this fourth dimensional field of transmutation in order to be able to rise up into the unconditional loving space that people are calling 5D. And very, very, very few people are there yet. So what is also going to happen with this event that's on the horizon, the event horizon, is again, my team isn't giving me specifics, but the message that came in this morning from Mother Creator, you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I communicate with Mother Creator. Plenty of other people who communicate with Father Creator. I communicate with Mother Creator. And she has been returning. This is actually what the second coming in is, the return of unconditional love. It is the return of the love of the Divine Mother, the Mother Creator, source of all it is. And so what is going to be occurring in conjunction with this light event, this solar flash that's coming, and I can get into more details about what that looks like. What I was told is that this solar flash will basically create, in a sense, a collective amnesia about some things, so that humanity forgets the suffering of the human experience and remembers the true divinity of who we are. It's kind of like our reverse of the Matrix, where when we incarnate into human form, we forget our divinity, and then all we see is this fear-based reality that has been cultivated for thousands of years. Well, when this event occurs, humanity will remember its divinity and start to forget the suffering of this third dimensional reality. And without getting into specifics, apparently there are some things that will just be wiped from our memory. And I kind of wondered how that would occur. Apparently they're, once this flash occurs, we get placed on the ascension golden age, heaven on earth timeline. And that old fear-based timeline ceases to exist. And so what I was being shown this morning is that what comes along with that are called waves of love. If you can imagine a tsunami of love. This love is unlike anything humanity has ever experienced. There are some of us that have had little bits and tastes of it. For me, it was standing in my kitchen in January of 2011 when I felt this wave of love move through me. And it is beyond words and description. We as humanity imagine love as this energy exchange that we have with the people around us, with the love that we have for each other, with the love we have for our pets, and romantic love that comes, when we share that between each other, which is just really quick little tidbit about love. The love that we get from someone else is actually the love within ourselves being reflected back to us. So the more we grow that love within ourselves, the more we feel that love being projected back to us from others. So those of you who are looking for more love, it's inside. This love wave, this tsunami of love that's coming with the solar flash is more love than you can even begin to imagine. It is a wave of love beyond description, and it fills your entire body as almost like electricity, and it overtakes everything. It overtakes your mind, it overtakes your heart, it overtakes your body. It is so powerful and so palpable and so overwhelming that for me, it brought me to my knees and it brought me to tears, because I've never experienced anything so beautiful and so blissful. And in that moment, I understood this is divine love. This is the love all things are made of. And once you experience that kind of love, it's impossible to ever, ever go back into hate, back into judgment, back into blame, back into againstness, back into fear. It's impossible. It transmutes all of that. And all of those are based in fear. So as humanity is washed over by this light that's coming from the solar flash, that basically transmutes all darkness so that darkness can no longer exist on the planet, what comes at the same time is this wave of love that transmutes all fear so that fear can no longer exist on this planet. This love is more fantastic than any high you can even possibly imagine. It is a bliss beyond words. And once you feel it, you want to be in it at all times. And so humanity is going to get a taste of this. This is the love of the fifth dimensional reality that we're all attempting to move into. Now, will it necessarily stay? For some, perhaps it will. What will happen, though, is that it will wash the planet clean of fear and darkness. And we can never again go back into that old reality of hate and judgment and againstness toward each other. And even that desire that human beings have for retribution against those who have done harms against humanity will be washed away as well. Because there will only be unconditional love and infinite compassion. This love is the love of Mother Creator. It is her love. It is her heart of wisdom. It is her heart of compassion. It is her heart of understanding. It is the love, the pure, absolute love of the mother for her children. And in this love, all wounds are healed. All broken hearts are made whole. There is no love more powerful than the love of the mother for her children. This love is the love that in the Bible they talk about the Holy Spirit. This is Mother Creator. Of course, our religiosities and our patriarchies didn't give her her name. They're more than happy to talk about Father Creator, but Mother Creator has never been acknowledged and given her name, and she is returning and being restored. This is the restoration of the divine feminine, the mother feminine, the Mother Creator of all that is. And she is coming and sending her love to the playground of earth to clean it up, and that we will all feel that love within our hearts. It is undeniable. And with that love, we will no longer hold each other in any kind of resentment, blame, shame, resentment, guilt. All of that will be gone and washed away in her love as we are baptized in the tsunami of the mother's love. And as humanity is baptized in the light of source of the Father's mind, as all of humanity is restored to its fullest potential, and the divine human blueprint is reactivated and our gifts are reactivated. Does this mean that we will instantly be able to create miracles the way Yeshua did? For some, yes. For those who have already done their life processing, for those who have already done their shadow work, for those who have already worked their way up through the spiritual spiral to find unconditional love within themselves, they will be activated for their higher vibrational gifts. And we are being called to go out into the world and use those gifts to heal the rest of the human hearts and to help guide the rest of humanity up through that spiral. Because what will happen after this event is that the rest of that fear-based matrix will be swept from our human experience, and those that remain will then be launched into the fourth dimension. And in that fourth dimension is where all the life processing exists. And we will be, as a collective of humanity, will be asked to process our own personal experience as well as the collective human experience. And that process, depending on how deep the wounding is, will take time. Whatever time it takes is the amount of time that it takes. And that this love of the mother is going to assist us in healing all of the hearts of humanity and creating this new earth. So very briefly to share with you, what is this mother, father, creator? The father creator is the mind of God, which is why when people talk about God's plan, they're talking about the mind of God and the masculine aspect of God. That is the planning, the organizing, the strategizing, and if you think about all of the aspects of the masculine and when the masculine is in a vibration of love, that is Father God. And so when people talk about God's plan, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the strategy that comes with all that. And when we're talking about the mother aspect of God, the mother creator, we're talking about her compassion, her wisdom, her beauty, and her creativity. So what's happening as we now merge within the human experience, as all of us become embodied, the way Yeshua was embodied as mother, father, divine child, all of us, recognizing that we are all that, we can then become like he was. As he embodied the Holy Trinity more than any other being on earth, as an example of what's possible, we will all then be able to move into that experience within ourselves. And those of us who have done all of our shadow work and our story processing and learned how to love even the darkest aspects of our story will then be able to be activated and be able to create those kinds of miracles. And also, because we are going to be embodied with these healing capacities of the Divine Mother, as Yeshua was, we will be healing the earth herself as well. And this is done through humanitarian projects, through working in cooperation with each other. So when we're working with the masculine, we're planning and strategizing, implementing these projects. And as we're working with the Divine Mother, we're gaining the wisdom and the cooperation and the unconditional love that's necessary to create these projects as well. And that this wave of love, the tsunami of love that's coming in coordination with the tsunami of light that's coming, cannot be stopped. Again, going back to nothing can stop what's coming, nothing can stop it. The dark side has done all it can to prevent the light from coming forward, but there is nothing that can stop these tsunamis of love that are coming. Nothing they can do about it. And it's coming up soon enough that even if they're aware of it now, they won't be able to create the technology to stop it. They just won't have the ability to do that. And which is why now we're being able and allowed to talk about it. Now, exactly how that will appear, we don't know. We're not being privy to that. It is still being called the event horizon. And understand, because of this quickening that we're in, it is coming quickly. It is coming soon as the old world begins to implode. And it's really important as you see the dark plans being laid out there in front of us to see, and as we see the old world beginning to implode, a lot of people who don't know what it is are going to be very, very afraid. All they know is that everything they've ever known about everything is coming to an end and it's collapsing around them. And coming to the understanding that everything you've ever been told about everything is a lie is really, really difficult for the human mind and heart to grasp. And many of you are in that right now and realizing that everything our religiosities have told us are a lie. Everything the education systems have told us is a lie. Everything the governments have told us is a lie. Everything in the financial systems is a lie. That is going to be now where the masses are going to start waking up and seeing all of that. And then it's really scary for them. So it's really, really important that each and every one of us, as I keep saying in every one of my episodes, to remember to hold your light so high others can't see their own light. And remember to hold the loving within yourself so much that others can't help but find the love within themselves. Because our love and our light is what is calling forward this event horizon to manifest in our collective reality. Our resonance, our choice is what's calling it forward. Because enough of us now have the capacity to be able to embody it on behalf of all of humanity. This is one way that we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the holders and beholders of the light. And we are the holders and beholders of the love. And when we know that and hold that and behold it within ourselves, we call it forward on behalf of all of humanity by being who we are. And so if there's any part of you at all that is still in anger and resentment, blame and againstness toward those who have propagated suffering on humanity, there's still work to do within yourself. And if you're seeing the darkness and projecting more darkness into it, which are those, again, those emotions, those dark emotions of hatred and blame and anger, actually feeding the darkness with those emotions, then there is still work inside of you to do. And when you've done all that work and you've transmuted all of that within yourself, all that is left is pure, absolute, divine love. And in that love, all things are possible. You've heard that before. With God, all things are possible. God is love. And with love, all things are possible. And more love is now flooding the planet. And she, our Mother Creator, is sending her love out to the playground of earth to wash it clean of fear and to help every life on earth remember that we are all divine love having a human experience. We are all the light and the way experiencing itself through each of us. This, my friends, is what the solar flash really is. This is what it will bring to all of us. And we now get to be witnesses to all of that. And what an amazing place this world will be when enough of us own that truth within ourselves and be the way showers for the rest if they start to experience it for their own selves. Because once this event happens and everybody pops into 4D, they will be looking for us to help guide them up that spiritual spiral and into unconditional love. And in order to be the way showers for them, we need to first find it within ourselves. And yes, for those of you who are asking, it is going to be a very close game because the dark side is going to be allowed to show their hands and to play out these last couple of plays and understand that as those last couple of plays are being played out, they are being used by the light to wake humanity up. So don't allow yourself to go into fear about what's coming, because what's coming is beautiful and bright and brilliant. Stay in the loving, stay in the light, and continue to process your shadows. Continue to look for the loving within all of your most painful stories, because it is there. It's all there just waiting for you to see it and transmute it within yourself. And as we do that for ourselves, we do that for all of humanity and for all life on earth and eventually to the entire human story. And as the old world is crumbling and the dark side shows its hands and it feels like the world is coming to an end, remember that it is just beginning. Just as the caterpillar, when it goes into the cocoon, feels like its world is coming to an end, it is being transformed into the magnificent being it was always meant to be. And so it is with each of us and with all life on earth. When it feels like the world is coming to an end, understand that it is really being recreated as a beautiful place, the magnificence it was always meant to be. And that is my message for all of you today. And it's been an honor being here and being with all of you. And it's an honor to be of service to you on your path and your journey. Thank you for joining me here today. As my commitment to you is to again bring you more of these now that I'm have the capacity to travel and teach at the same time. Some of you have asked me why they can't see the studio that has been behind me the last couple of years. And it's because I am now a traveling teacher and I never know where I'm going to be streaming from. And so I'll probably always have this background behind me when I'm doing my personal show. I have other shows coming. Fearless and Free TV has other shows coming, and I'm really excited to share them with you once they are ready to go. Can't spill the beans quite yet, but there's some very exciting things in the works for Fearless and Free TV. And you will start to see other people other than just me. The conversations are going to be expanded. There are going to be new shows, new episodes with co-hosts, and I will just leave you at that. And as I always say, remember to shine your light so high, hold your light so high others can't help but see their own light. Together, we are creating a world of peace, love, harmony, prosperity, and freedom for all life on earth. And as always, get bold, be fearless, and live free.